Time now to talk about the slice backhand and of course the variety that is creeping more and more into the modern game. And of course somebody who has a whole box of tricks out there is Andy Murray, but that slice backhand is pretty special, Matt.
It really is. I think that the combination of his two-handed topspin backhand and his slice backhand, I think that's the best combination of the two shots that I've ever seen. And I think what's important for Andy Murray, especially on the grass courts at Wimbledon, is to be aggressive with his two-handed backhand, but also to take pace off the shot while hitting his slice backhand. He's able to hit it with inside-out spin. He's also able to hit it with the other spin, because I always was taught that when you hit a slice backhand, you try and hit the outside of the ball so it doesn't sort of sail up into the air and sit up. But Andy Murray can do it all. Add to that he hits drop shots with the backhand side. So it looks like he's going to hit a full slice backhand, and then suddenly he cuts the follow through a little bit shorter and he hits a drop shot. So Andy Murray's slice backhand is underrated and potentially, I think, the best slice backhand that's out there. Certainly the best slice backhand of somebody that has a two-handed backhand.
Yeah, so just talk us through, because there are many ways to hit that slice backhand and a lot depends on the take back, doesn't it? But as you say, it's either an aggressive slice backhand which really shoots through the court the way Steffi Graf used to hit it, or as you say, the floating one which comes inside the ball. So just talk us through the different slices.
Well, the difference is when you hit the outside of the ball, you can drive the ball into the court and then it skids through. So that's when players have the chance, and when the ball is higher, it's easier to hit the outside of the ball, of course. The problem becomes when the ball bounces lower. So on grass courts here at Wimbledon, the bounce is lower, and that's when players have to be careful that they don't get the inside-out spin, because that way the ball's going to sit. It's not going to skid through the court, it's going to hit the court, and it's going to bounce up and be ready to hit. So Andy Murray has a great variation of different slice backhands as well. When he wants to, he can drive through the court, and when he doesn't, he can hit that little floater when he needs to buy time. Of course, Roger Federer has a great slice backhand as well, but Andy Murray, it's really how I think he won Wimbledon here a few years back, because he's able to have such variety on the backhand side.
Yeah, and it's such a tactical shot, isn't it? Because actually to receive that slice backhand, as you say, on the grass courts, for somebody with a slightly different grip on the forehand side, is a nightmare.
It is a nightmare, and today, you know that, today the forehand grips are very extreme. And somebody like Rafael Nadal doesn't like low shots to his forehand. Novak Djokovic is not a big fan of low shots to his forehand. So therefore, again, Andy Murray slice backhand, he can neutralize his opponent's big shots by hitting this little slice backhand. And again, he has such good hands. And I think the one thing that people don't realize on the slice backhand is the grip. Because I see a lot of amateurs out there and they don't change the grip from a topspin backhand to a slice backhand. And if you have the same grip, a lot of amateurs tend to hit the slice out here. Whereas if you watch Andy Murray, he actually hits it in here. So he traps it in here. Federer the same. He traps it in here. Now he can use the big muscles rather than out here, becomes a bunt and the ball tends to fly on you just a little bit. So all good slice backhands have a much more, should we call it, open grip than I think people realize.
Right. And also it's a shot, isn't it, that if you're pulled defensively out wide on the backhand, it can be used to be aggressive back again as opposed to just being defensive on it.
It can, because you can keep it low. And I think a lot of players, it certainly happened to me, the older I got, the more slice backhands I started hitting. And I think Andy Murray, you can see that with him as well. He's hitting most probably more slice backhands now than he did when he was a youngster. Of course, he's going for his two-handed backhand more as well. But I think the slice backhand of Andy Murray, it's effective. It drives his opponents crazy. And it's a pretty shot as well.
It certainly is. Great stuff. Okay, well, there you have it. There's the tips on the slice backhand. And I wonder who's going to have to cope with that over the next 2 weeks.